Georgia State! Sitting here again talking about the same things.
Boy, I'm going to tell you this much, and this is something I think a lot of people can agree with. If you are a preseason number one in any given year, be afraid. That's the first thing you need to know. If anything else, be afraid. Because you might be in for some Red, you want to let them know what they're in for? A little FBS per se. They might be in a little bit for might be in it for a little bit of that.
FBS, god damn it, what the fuck? Oh yeah, maldita mierda, which is Spanish for fucking bullshit. There was a lot of that this weekend, I tell you what, brother.
A very much lot of it. Welcome, everybody, to the Week 6 edition of the FBS Report. Just as we predicted last week, we all had a feeling about this. First of all, I need to get a haircut. That's the first thing I need to do. But that's beside that, that's not important.
You make me jealous every time we go on stream together because my hairline is in full retreat like Napoleon's army, and yours is just fucking everywhere. So, what it would be to be in my young 20s again. Be a fucking moron.
But anyway, that aside, as we all predicted, we're week 6. We talked about this literally right before it happened, and I think we both agreed that because of how lopsided some of these games look, you look at these games before they're played, and you're like, "Oh, this result is going to happen. This is a boring week." And then what happens? The exact opposite. We get a whole lot of FBS, a whole lot of results we weren't expecting. We got some predictable ones. I'll give you that much. But other than that, pretty much exactly as we expected.
Yep.
Not
a goddamn bit was it expected at all. I mean, a couple of games, we kind of saw them coming a little bit. Alabama Vandy, we kind of saw coming, kind of thing. But the good Lord, Jesus, fucking wept this weekend for a lot of teams because I that's the only one I feel like that's the only individual ever that could feel pity for the 2 stars of today's edition of the FBS Report, unless you're from Pennsylvania or Texas. Then I can understand the pity.
Yep, tell it like it is. Well, before we get started, I want to go ahead and say shout out to everybody watching our show tonight, whether you're watching off of my channel, Red's channel, or anywhere else. Also, he's streaming on Twitch, so shout out if you're watching it from there too. We have a $2 super chat from Katie Novaneko. Much appreciated. Says, for the record, fire Franklin. And replace him with who?
Well,
Somebody.
I genuinely don't know who the fuck he replaced James Franklin with right now, and I don't think you're going to, quite frankly.
I got an answer.
Oh, who do you think is... Oh, no, I knew it, you son of a bitch! Development! That's actually not too far off, because he is doing some pretty decent work over at UNLV. He's one of the only Power 5 program soon.
He's one of the only 14 undefeated teams left in the FBS, by the way. UNLV is undefeated at, 5-0?
Yeah, they're undefeated. They just beat Wyoming in the snow, by the way, on Saturday night, which was fucking awesome to see. Well done, Wyoming. Greatest fucking environment for college football out west, I think.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but no, Dan Mullen, sure, maybe. That might be a legitimate option if he can actually turn UNLV into a playoff team. Mike Gundy is available now. I don't know what he's worth to the Big Ten, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe they could try to poach Vanderbilt's head coach. He might be looking for a job at Pobby at least. I don't know.
Who knows?
There's not a lot. There's not a lot out there right now, off the top of my head, that I could think of that would be a good replacement candidate. So I think they're going to hold firm, but we'll get into that later.
Real quick, I did want to shout out, and this is a big list now, so I'm not going to read off all the names. So I haven't done this in a while, and I do want to give my appreciation to all the members of Tard area. are basically the channel members for Squidtard Sports. And Red, I'll let you do yours in a minute. But yeah, look at this list. It's getting pretty big.
It's a bit large.
Yeah, it's getting. We got a whole giant credit roll right here. But know that you're making this on here. I greatly appreciate your support on Squidtard Sports, and then of course, Red's channel members as well.
Which that's not even 100% accurate anymore, and I'm not going to take the time to read it all because it's starting to get a little long on mine as well. The more we grow, the more you get to know. I will shout out. Hang on, one second, because one of them is not on the list right now. Bodie Bates for being one of our newest captains. He joined up about a week ago. So thank you, Bodie Bates. I know you're not on the list, so I just wanted to shout you out. And thank you to everybody who is a Patreon member of the Red Army. It is so appreciated. You have no idea.
Tell it like it is. Tell it like it is. How do I? Okay, there we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a
real
minute.
quickly. Kevin with the $10 super chat says, as a famous Yinzer always said, the bullshit is indeed real. And it seems that Penn State and Texas have finally died the death everyone who saw the preseason rankings asked for. Congrats.
The bullshit is real. Suck my dick.
The talent fee did not represent some people well this week. I will say that much. Shout out to Rad Guy 1218. He's become a new YouTube member. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining on the membership list. Yeah. And the milkshake's where it is. Tell it like it is. I did it again, Red. I did it again.
I know. That's the reason we're late tonight, by the way, guys. It wasn't because of technical difficulties. It wasn't my kids. Both very good, valid excuses. No, it's because this son of a bitch had to get his Chick-fil-A fix and get his goddamn milkshake. Okay? I know he probably deserves it from all the work he puts in, but you were late with your last 2 videos last week, so maybe a little punishment is in store for you.
Actually, you know what? No, it isn't, because I got my punishment. I got my punishment this week, Red, because you know what happened this past week? Okay, so I had to make 3 videos. Okay,
tea. My girlfriend's been begging for tea.
Yeah, whatever. Shut up. College World Chaos was the first one I had to make, and then I made 2 Games of the Century, Florida State, Virginia, and then releasing early Saturday morning, Penn State versus Oregon. And of course, Penn State lost that game, and I was like, oh, they can recover. They can recover. They can recover from that. But I will tell you this much, that is a load of fag and bullshit.
Boy,
guess what happened? Guess what happened?
That your video did not age like milk. Your video aged like a fucking corpse. When you were like, oh, that it's gonna get Penn State, it can't get worse from here, and then it just got fucking worse. Holy shit! Yeah,
that's pretty much how it went down. So we have to talk about this one first. That was a given. Penn State was one of the most talented teams going into this year. A lot of people picked them to win the national championship, for James Franklin to finally get it together, for him to finally show that he's capable of winning the big games where need be. And then, of course, they go out and lose to Oregon. So everybody wrote Penn State off. And then they had a chance to sort of be like, oh, we can prove ourselves against a UCLA team, which, by the way, I will tell you, before this game and still till now, no wins. They were 0-4, but they also had no coach, no coordinators, and beyond all else, their quarterback was Nico Amadolevia. And let me tell you something. Look, it's bad enough to get beat by Nico when he's having a bad game, which was every single game he played at Tennessee, besides the Academy of the Sperm Whale or whatever D3 program we put out there on the field. But that aside, every other, like all the SEC teams that we played, we won in spite of Nico. It was because of Dylan Sampson. I think everybody who watched Tennessee knows that. 5 touchdowns, Red. He had 5 total touchdowns. You've got to be shitting out of my own ass. 5 touchdowns. This man had 5 touchdowns on supposedly the best defense in the country. They called Penn State the best defense in the country, Red. The best.
Oh, I know. I've been hearing it all off season.
Yeah. 42 points, 5 total touchdowns from Nico. He had almost 300 yards of offense. This is so beyond inexcusable for any coach to lose this game. I don't care if you're 0-6 Oregon State. For you to lose a game like this is as pathetic as it gets. And to run around claiming that you were a title contender before this game began, I bet you're shooting yourselves in the foot right now, because this is the furthest thing away from it. And here's the reality of the situation. We're going to talk about this on another team soon. It isn't like Penn State had a really bad game. It isn't like they just had a bad night, or they just chose this particular night. Like Oregon broke them for one game, like Oregon beat them twice. It wasn't like that. Penn State's just not good. They're terrible. Penn State is a bad team, and they're in a very, very bad way right now. James Franklin, I don't know if this continues, I don't know how he makes it through the rest of this season. I'm dead serious. I don't care how far he got in the last year's playoffs. This is inexcusable for any coach, for any program to go through with the talent that they have to go and lose to a 1-4 UCLA, which remind you, no Deshaun Foster, no head coach. He got fired. They fired both of their coordinators. Literally, this would literally be like if Georgia went out and got beat by Oklahoma State. Like, this is what you'd be looking at right here. This is awful. This is a dreaded performance. This is one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a James Franklin team. And I don't see it getting any better, because it can't. Truth is, it doesn't get worse than this, but maybe it does. Real quick before then, I do have some super chats. Shout out to Miami for beating FSU, Mario Cristobal for pulling a damn near Atlanta Falcons. Fraud watch, maybe. Shout out Rangab248. What else? Katie Nobaneka with the 2 says, at least UCLA's offensive coordinator is cute. Oh yeah, you're talking about the femboy they have on the sideline. Yeah, that's humiliating. Yeah, Penn State. James Franklin got outcoached by a femboy. Let that one sink in. All right. Anyway, Red, you go.
Sentences that have never been said before. Yeah, I want to begin with saying one thing and one thing only. I heard nonstop all off season about how Penn State was supposedly, this was the team. This was the dream team. And I even said it last week when they lost to Oregon. This was supposed to be the dream team that finally got them over the hump. And obviously they failed against Oregon. The offense absolutely failed. I can't shit on the defense that much against Oregon, because they did keep the Ducks out of the end zone for the better part of 3 quarters, which if you're a defensive coordinator, I mean, that ain't bad. Well, actually, no, I'm going to take that back. Oregon scored 2 touchdowns late in the second half. That is bad. But your offense has not gone anywhere. All right? Skip all that. They lost in overtime. Tough loss, but forgivable, because it's the Ducks, and the Ducks are pretty good. Even on a year where they're supposed to be rebuilding, they're still to be taken seriously. Go to California. You're taking a road trip. You're going on a flight. You're flying out to L.A. You're getting to play in the granddaddy of them all. Not the game, but the stadium, Rose Bowl Stadium, one of the most hallowed fields in all of college football. Playing there in any event is a privilege. You do that. You just, walk on the field, take a shit, and then you start playing, like, in your pants. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I genuinely do not understand how the kryptonite to Penn State's defense is Nico Iamaleava, the Tennessee transfer who left in the dead of night like a fucking coward for California, who arguably was a downgrade from Joey Aguilar, who came to Tennessee from UCLA. UCLA lost the first ever trade in college football history because of this shit. Keep that in mind. And it's never going to happen again because they're changing the NIL transfer rules. He put 5 fucking touchdowns. He beat Penn State practically by himself. One man. You can say, oh, well, the offensive line helped. Man, he was running and fucking making plays 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 yards downfield. He was doing some Johnny Manziel bullshit. And I mean that as a compliment, by the way, to be clear. I have not seen a team go scorched earth motherfucker on Penn State's defense like that in a while. Maybe Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's quarterback wasn't as mobile and agile as Nico Iamaleava can be when he's playing at his best. And Nico, that was his best. Make no doubt. I'm going to give UCLA some credit here. They had 48 hours after they lost their offensive coordinator to come up with a new game plan. And it was perfectly executed. I am dumbfounded that it only took them 2 days to figure out how to beat Penn State when it's taken other teams years to even get close to them. Okay? So now if you're Penn State, you come out of this game and you literally just got your asses whipped 10 ways from Sunday. The score might be close. You made a comeback late in the game, but that whole first half and half of the third quarter, oh my God, the Bruins were bending your ass over a bale and beating the fucking shit out of you. They made you your bitch. So what happens now? Well, number one, Drew Allard, you might as well just grab some fucking bench, kid. You're cooked. You're absolutely fucking cooked. If in a game like that, against one of the worst defenses in the country, UCLA, you only get 200 passing yards, go sit the fuck down. Katron Allen, you're only going to get 50 yards rushing, go sit the fuck down. Offensive line, every single one of you motherfuckers, sit the hell down. Grab some fucking bench. Let the backups play, because at this point, it's no longer a talent thing when you lose like this. It's a fucking mindset thing. They're not hungry. They don't fucking want it. Clearly, they took a vacation to California and come back hungover. Fucking shit, Penn State. I'm not a Penn State fan in any capacity whatsoever, and I'm pissed. I'm an Ohio State fan, and I'm pissed. Not for James Franklin. Fuck James Franklin. I'm pissed for the fans. They've suffered enough. They deserve better than this bullshit. I'll shut the fuck up.
Well, I'll tell you, it kills their strength of schedule. It kills your strength of schedule. It does. It does, because that was supposed to be your big win. Now you're just going to drag them up and down the field for 60 minutes, and it's going to be like your regular Saturday.
It's fine. It's okay. I can get over it.
Appreciate Von Belly for the 2, by the way. Yeah, appreciate Von Belly for the 2. Yeah. So there you have it. That's probably your biggest upset of the season right there. I don't know if that'll stick, but that is probably your biggest upset. This is Vandy, Alabama from last year. That's what you're looking at right here.
No. Here's the difference. Vandy was actually good last year. Vandy was cooking.
They were 7-6.
Yeah, okay. Listen.
From Vandy terms,
they went 7-6. They went 7-6. Yes, they made a bowl game. UCLA isn't going to a fucking bowl game. They've been bad, and they've been tanking for years. Vandy was on the rise. At least they were on the upswing. People that know football could see it coming. Obviously, Alabama was struggling at that point with a new head coach. That you could find easy to point at excuses for Vandy, Alabama last year. You can't find easy to point out excuses for this.
Whichever way you see it, no matter whether or not you want to agree that it's a big upset, it's pretty much killed off Penn State's chances of making the playoffs. If you're lucky, we might see you in the Music City Bowl so that you can go with the half-painted end zone where you can still see the Tennessee Titans logo. That's what you're going to get. That's what you have to look forward to now, Penn State, man. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. But it's about that time for some questions to be answered for James Franklin, because this is an upset. This is such a bad loss. This is one of the losses that breaks a team from the inside out, breaks a program from the inside out. So if they don't get things, well, it's too late now. I mean, they had their chance to get things fixed after losing to Oregon in overtime. It's so far beyond that now. The season is over for you. you might as well just go ahead and play through the rest of it the best way that you can. Drew Aller's not getting you anywhere. James Franklin's play calling not getting you anywhere. None of the wide receivers are getting you anywhere. You had Kyron Hudson come in from the portal, and guess what? Now he sucks too. Every single one of your wide receivers always suck. Your quarterback, your last 8 quarterbacks have been terrible. So now at this point, it's literally like Lincoln Riley's defense. No matter how much talent you put on a defense like that, it always comes out with the same pile of crap every single year. And so it's at some point, you can't blame the players, you can't blame the product they're bringing out on the field. You blame the coaches. And this is entirely the situation that has come down to, because what is it going to take for a Penn State offense to come out and not look like complete dog water? What's it going to take for that to happen? I don't know what it's going to take, but at this point, there's only one answer, and it's some serious changes are going to have to be made. And something tells me that's not going to happen for a while. So good luck with it.
I can tell you right now, they're going to fire Jim Knowles before they fire James Franklin. I doubt that he gets fired. He'll walk away before they actually fire him. I'm making that bet right now.
No, there are some conflicting thoughts about where Penn State stands, but there are way less conflicting thoughts about where this team stands, and I'll show you that right here. And I think everybody knows where we're going with this one, because there is no bigger loser this year than these absolute clowns. You can laugh about Clemson and Penn State all you want to. This is the first time ever in the history of college football that Texas came out as the #1 team preseason in the country. They have never been ranked #1 in the preseason before this season. And how have they responded to that? With a big pile of aides that you call Arch Manning. This is probably the most overhyped player I have ever seen. And I fell for it hook, line, and sinker too. So I'm not putting that blame on you guys. I'm putting the blame on as much as myself as anybody else did, with the national media hyping them up, saying, oh, he's the next big Manning that's going to come in. And looking at the way he plays, you could just tell he doesn't want to be there from the looks of it. I don't know whether or not it's the coaching, if it's the mindset, but whatever the deal is, whatever we thought about Arch Manning being this big, talented, super duper quarterback is so far beyond untrue. Arch Manning literally has a better chance right now of going undrafted than he does even sniffing the NFL draft. If he's going to go to the NFL in any capacity, it's going to be the water boy. He's going to become the next great water boy for the Houston Texans. That's literally what he would become, because the product he brings out there on the field is horrendous.
Dude, I don't know. Thank you, Void Man, for the $1.99. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm conflicted here. On the one hand, I want to get pissed at Arch. On the other hand, I can't get pissed at Arch because he's been at Texas for 2 years. He did it the traditional way. He stayed at one program for 2 years, learned the system under Quinn Ewers, learned the system under Sark. You could not learn more if you were a transfer quarterback. I'm more pissed off, quite frankly, not at Arch. It's easy to get pissed off at the player for sucking. Remember, he's got 2 more years of eligibility after this season. He's got time to grow and develop as a player. I think too many people are writing him off right now because he's still a redshirt sophomore. So he's got time, okay? And it doesn't fucking matter about the NFL at this point. Now he can just focus on playing and getting better. What I want to ask is, when the fuck are we going to stop buying the hype from ESPN and the talking heads when we literally don't have shit to talk about? Arch didn't go out and SEC Media Day and talk a lot of smack like Tommy Castellanos did at ACC Media Day. He was quiet. He he kept his words short, sweet, to the point. He didn't talk shit. He didn't ask for any of this. You know why everybody cared about him? The last name. That's it. If his name was Arch Green, nobody would give a fuck about him. But because he's related to Peyton and Eli, everyone immediately thought he was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Turns out he was just another asshole. Just another asshole in this game of college football we all know and love. At the end of the day, I am more pissed at the offensive line coach, because as a former offensive line for a college football team, I will say this right now, it all starts with them. If the big pigs up front don't get any fucking traction going, doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you have, they're going to shit. I'm pissed at the quarterback's coach for clearly not working out the kinks. You've had over a month since you played Ohio State in the horseshoe to get this bullshit figured out, and you still haven't solved it. It's not because Arch Manning can't learn. It's because your quarterback's coach can't fucking coach. And I blame Sark because he's clearly not figured out how to take the pieces in front of him and use them to the best of his ability. He got extremely lucky the last couple of years with Quinn Ewers and the team he had. But I genuinely just do not understand how a kid that honestly had so much potential and still has so much potential could come out and play so bad so early on. Is he spooked from the media? Is he feeling the pressure? I don't know. And it's not fair to him for us to shit on him. But I am going to make one little joke, and I think it's very apt at this point. Sorry, Squid, you're going to hate me for it. He is like Peyton Manning in one very good way.
He doesn't win in the fucking swamp. Yes. I saw that one coming from a mile away. You don't need to rub it in.
I'm sorry, but it has to be said. At least he's like Peyton, and at least that way. That's the best
whatever.
I can get for him right
Mickey Mouse. Yeah. So really, this can be summarized like this. I think there is a lot of blame on Arch because he is so far from the quarterback that we all thought he was going, or some of us thought he was going to be, and he obviously didn't pan out that way. But I do agree that this is a lot on Sark, and it's starting to look more and more to me like a Tom Herman offense.
Oh, shit. Ouch. That's going to bring up some PTSD with Longhorn fans.
Yeah.
My God.
And his response in the press conference pretty much solidified that because they were asking him, how did things go so wrong? And you know what he said? He literally said word for word, take any of the 100 whatever FBS teams and put them in the horseshoe in the swamp. How many of them are going to win there? I got an answer for you. South Florida! South Florida went into the swamp and beat the brakes off of Florida. So I guess you're telling me South Florida is better than y'all? Must be. South Florida
to the playoffs confirmed.
Go in there and do it. Why can't you? Unbelievable. How can you be so inept and saying something like that? It's complete foolishness. He's obviously taken all of the blame off of him with a statement like that. This type of crap you hear from Burger King. I can't stand it when coaches try to give excuses like that. It was a tough road game, Squidtard. I bet your team wouldn't go into the swamp and win. We probably wouldn't, but I'm not sitting here going and making excuses for it. If we lose in the swamp, it's because we suck, not because the environment was hard. God, these people are absolute morons. How do you continue to dig yourself deeper with comments like that? It's absolute foolishness. Hey, listen to me. There ain't much I know there ain't much you can do when you get out coached by Billy Napier, but you got to be smarter than that. And now here's the thing, Red, and I'm going to mention this, and then we can move on. This is probably the worst case scenario for the Florida fans. This is probably the worst case scenario because the moment they finally thought they were going to be broken from the chains and unsealed from the absolute horrific era of Billy Napier at Florida, guess what? Now he wins this game. And now it's all the more excuse for Scott Strickland to keep him around. And that's great news for the rest of us because now we get another year of Billy Napier. And I, for one, am very happy about that.
Yes, sir. Real quick, YouTube ate this super chat earlier in the show, and I just want to make sure we get everybody included. Bull Muscle with the $2. New squat PR, 455 pounds. And Jimbo to Penn State, who says no. Penn State fans, you make the call. And I say, hey, Ohio State would love that. Just like everybody in the SEC loves that. Billy Napier is still the head coach.
Well, honestly,
the Gators.
Jimbo would be a lateral move. They'd just be getting the same thing over and over again.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And we can't win the big games either, except for that one national title. But
hey,
yeah,
go for the full Jimbo experience. Give him a $90 million contract and buy it out after 2 years. That'll be that's the full Jimbo experience. Oh my God. Yeah. By the way, real quick about Florida, isn't it weird, funny how Billy Napier gets so much flack, so much bullshit, yet I'm noticing a trend that every time they play against a team that's fraudulent, everybody picks up on, hey, Florida was able to exploit them for this, this, and this. They go and play LSU. Yeah, they lose to LSU. Guess what LSU was bad at doing against Florida? Running the ball. Right? You see my point? Last week, LSU plays their game. What happens? They couldn't run the fucking ball. They lose.
Yep.
So they go against Texas. Texas, Ohio State played Texas, and it kind of was clear that Arch was a little bit green, a little undercooked. The offensive line, little green, little undercooked. Florida completely exposes him, takes no prisoners, no fucking mercy. So all I'm going to say is, Aggies, watch the fuck out now, okay? Because your offense has been looking a little shaky itself, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, no, that ain't far from the truth. I'll say that much. But yeah, both Penn State and Texas, they're kind of basically two rotten fruits hanging from the same tree. They're both done this year. They're not making the playoffs. They're not going to be anywhere near it. They may not even be ReliaQuest Bowl tier. Both of those teams just aren't very good. They're going to be in for some pretty bad years. And it's completely up to their jurisdiction what they want to do with it. But all I can tell you is just get ready, because it's not going to get easier from here. That's all I can tell you.
Sir. No fucking sir.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to hell is all I can say. All right. Well, speaking of hell, guess what? Guess what's back? The Burning Doke. Because Florida State dadgum lost again. Now they put up a fight for one quarter. For one quarter. Yeah. Miami remains undefeated, wins against Florida State on the road 28-22 is the final score of this one. They pretty much manhandled Florida State's offense the entire game. The defense was playing lights out throughout most of the thing, the first three quarters at least. Their defense or their offense handled the job pretty well. They couldn't run the ball efficiently, but Carson Beck did more than enough to make it work out. 4 touchdowns in the day, 241 yards. That's a pretty good day for him. Now the fourth quarter was about as Cristobal as it could get, because he nearly fumbled the entire thing away. Mario Cristobal nearly fumbled the entire thing away. Let Florida State score 19 unanswered. Almost lost the game if they were able to get one more score in, but nonetheless they hold on. They survive. Miami remains undefeated, and they move in at number 2 in the country this week in the AP poll. So many wonder if this is finally going to be it. This is finally going to be the time that the Canes win the ACC. A lot of time left this year, but I guess we're going to find out in due time.
I'm trying to remember what I said about this game, because I have this at the end of my video for Chaos this week, and I don't remember talking about it being like, oh, Miami nearly lost, because I don't really – yeah, okay. Florida State put up 19 points in the final, 6 minutes of the game, whatever it was. I mean, sure, that's kind of impressive, but you also look at the statistics here. Castellanos, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Okay. Barely 130. He got more than half the yards, it looks like, for rushing between him and Sawchuk. I mean, you could give soft credit to Florida State for fighting back and trying to Cristobal Miami, but at the end of the day, they still played like shit. There's no you could polish a turd, but it's still a turd, right? And I will say it does make me a little concerned that Miami did allow 19 points in the dying minutes of the game to make it look a lot closer than what it really was, because for 45 minutes, Miami teabagged their ass nonstop, doing the fucking chants in the end zone when every time they scored a touchdown, which that's got to piss off the Seminoles something awful, which probably prompted the comeback. Here's my thoughts on both teams. Number one, I don't think this is Florida State loses again. They played against Miami. Miami's pretty goddamn good. We got to call it what it is. I'll get the bastard his due, Mario Cristobal. Miami has to finish every single game, period, point blank. You can't let shit like this happen against teams that are actually good. Because it's a win. It could have looked a hell of a lot better if you had just kept it at 28-3 and your defense remembered we have a fourth quarter still, not fucking die and go to the locker room. So this is a game that really just confuses me. I don't really know what to think of it because I want to say fuck the Seminoles and make as the dope burns, but I'm also not going to do that because they did try at the very end and make it a little closer, and Miami's just good, but how good are they really? When are they going to turn into a pumpkin again? We're all waiting for that, aren't we?
Indeed we are. So I guess time shall tell. Now I will say this. This was probably one of their hardest games of the season. So that they have to crystal ball really hard because the remainder of their schedule is about as simplistic as it gets. Louisville is better than a lot of the other teams in the ACC.
Louisville is going to be tough.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they did just get beat by Virginia, so we'll see.
But it was in overtime against the Virginia team. It's playing really fucking great right now. And they were undefeated coming into the game and had one of the top scoring offenses in the country coming into that game. Miller Moss is not a fucking pushover.
So Canes also get a bye week to rest, so put that in mind too.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But then, yeah, like Stanford, SMU, Syracuse, NC State, and then their 2 road games against Virginia Tech and Pitt. Very winnable series right there for the Canes. I could absolutely see them blowing that in crystal ball fashion, but it is going to take some serious crystal balling for that to happen.
So let me ask you this. Is there any other teams left in the ACC that is like 100% undefeated? I know Virginia is conference undefeated.
You said
I know
ACC?
Georgia Tech. Yeah, Georgia Tech is the only other fully outright unbeaten team, right?
That's the 2 of them right there. You just listed them.
Okay. So pretty much right now it's a 3-horse race between Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Miami for the ACC crown because Clemson's out. Florida State's basically out at this point after 2 losses. So your 2 favorites already are fucking gone. SMU is nowhere to be seen right now, so they're gone. It's really just a 3-horse race.
Yeah, right. Squid, be careful when you're watching clips of Syracuse versus SMU. You might start suffering from PTSD because Ricky Collins is Jarrett Cardano 2.0. Appreciate it, Bates, a $10 super chat. Yeah, no, I'll have to be careful when watching that. We've had plenty of quarterbacks, in my experience, that have not come up to par. All right. So speaking of not coming up to par, how about not coming up to par in terms of trash talk? Because that's exactly what happened to everyone's favorite, not so favorite, Diego Pavia. As he went down against the Alabama Crimson Tide. I streamed this game, and it was a fun 3 quarters of football. It was a very, very fun 3 quarters of football. I very much loved watching it for about the 3 quarters. And then the Crimson Tide managed to pull away. Vanderbilt had several bad drives. Diego Pavia was never really able to get it together at the end there. And as you would expect, the Crimson Tide sort of just capitalized on it. Ty Simpson right now is what a lot of people expected from Arch Manning because he is going out there and he is taking over that starting position really, really well. It's like Jalen Milroe if Jalen Miller could actually throw the football. Throws you 40 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Jam Miller was able to run the ball with efficiency. Vandy had a really, really hard time stopping him. Literally, they just send him up the gut every single time, and it would be either a stop immediately or it's a 6 or 7 yards a carry. It was literally one of those on every single drive, and they just couldn't figure out how to stop him. Cedric Alexander said, I feel like we're going to go in there and dominate. Turns out not so right about that one. Only 76 yards for him. So, I mean, that's better than BK's running backs, but nowhere near enough to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So looks like the days of the old, at least, they're never going back to the days of the dynasty, but they can at least go back to being relevant again. Kalen DeBoer gets a win that really kind of settles all the talk about him and where he stands, as if he didn't get that against Georgia. So now Bama's back sort of in the running for the SEC. They're undefeated in the conference. Not much else to say about it other than hopefully now Diego Pavia, he's going to hush a bit. He's going to hush.
Well, let's just First off, Void Man, thank you for the $1.99. Bama has 4 out of 7 games left against ranked opponents. That's not an easy schedule for the Tide.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna again. Normally, I come on here and I absolutely demolish teams that talk shit. I'm not gonna say a bad word about Vanderbilt at all. I'm only going to say that Pavia definitely did not play his best game on this day when he absolutely has to. I don't care what kind of Alabama version you're playing against. You got to be perfect against the Tide. You cannot fumble and throw interceptions. You just can't. You're giving away free chances for you to score, and it gave Alabama a chance to score. Those two, you take those 2 turnovers back, which both happened, I believe, on a drives that they were charging into the end zone and probably going to score touchdowns. Score is completely different, and we would be having a much bigger conversation right now. Instead, Pavia had himself a moment, and he's human. And you know what? He didn't have a great day. It's not all on him either. I mean, Vandy's defense did all they could, but you got to stop Jan Miller. You got to shut down Ty Simpson. You got to shut down Jeremy Bernard. And, by the way, who the fuck do they have? Oh, yeah, Ryan Williams. That is not an easy task for any fucking football team, let alone the Vanderbilt Commodores, who played the best that they could. Do I think that this means that Vandy's going to start to slide and they're going to go 7-6 and make another fucking Birmingham Bowl? No. I still think that they're vastly improved from the team that they were last year. And genuinely, so long as they keep the same head coach and they continue this momentum they've had, I think Vanderbilt is going to be back in similar situations over the next couple of years. Squid, as much as you probably hate to hear that, I think Vanderbilt is here to stay in the future. You know what I mean? And I know it's like, oh, whatever. It's Vanderbilt. Tennessee doesn't really give a shit about that. Yeah, well, you're going to if they continue to get players like Diego Pavia and, other stars onto their team over the next few years thanks to NIL. It's a shame. They're still in the top 25, though, because the media – I think agrees with my mindset here that they played Alabama, really good team. They didn't get blown out. The score does not reflect the effort. Just made a couple of mistakes and then ultimately determined the ball game. Sometimes a spade is a spade. That's all you can really say about it. That's my thoughts on it. And I don't care if Diego Pavia wants to talk shit. He can talk shit if he wants to. Up until the Alabama game, he's fucking backed it up.
Maybe. I don't know. Real quick, Fravel Edits, appreciate the 2, says Red's going to be real mad when Notre Dame makes a college football playoffs. Daggum. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I will say this. It takes a lot. Excuse me. It takes a lot for an out, it takes so much for people to root in favor of Alabama against Vandy, but somehow Diego Pavia managed to pull that off. So I guess give him a lot of credit where it's due. If they're actually rooting for Bama in that situation, then obviously he's doing a good job so far.
I mean, I personally wasn't rooting. I was rooting for Vandy the whole way, 100%. And I up in Ohio, at least in my neck of the woods, everybody was rooting for Diego Pavia. We've been eating his shit up here. So, I mean, I get it. Other SEC fan bases, they might be a little sick of his shit. It's his first loss in the state of Alabama in his career. Yeah, he had a pretty good reason to tell.
Yeah. Well, you were just in favor of the chaos, honestly, and I can't necessarily blame you.
I'm in favor of the chaos, but also a game respects game. I like the underdogs in general, and that last year when Vandy beat Alabama and broke college football, that was a great moment, and I wanted to see that again. But the football gods deemed that everything else that happened on Saturday was more than enough.
Right. A lot happened on Saturday. Now, I will say this. We're going to move on to the next game. I think at this point, it's safe to say that we have our Big 12 front runner. I don't think there's any more deniability that you can form from that. Texas Tech's the front runner of the Big 12. And at this point, it's not relatively close. They're undefeated at 5-0, just knocked off undefeated Houston with a score of 35-11. They didn't have the best day offensively, but it was more than enough to take care of business against Zion Chris and Connor Wegman. Both quarterbacks came in. Both were absolutely terrible. Could not perform anywhere up to par against the Texas Tech defense. They are just absolutely monstrous, and there isn't much you can do against a defense like Texas Tech because they are just performing on all cylinders right now, very, very well. And yeah, no, without a doubt, right now, Big 12 finalists right there.
Oh yeah, that's 100% accurate. I think that this is one of the few teams that everybody penned as like, okay, this team on paper is going to be good this year, and it actually came true because it was $28 million plus well spent on the talent they acquired. I mean, the Red Raiders, they're number 9 in the nation after last week. They're in the top 10 for the first time, I think, since their big run back in like 2007, 2008 when they knocked off number 1 Texas. So, like, it's a great moment for them, and they're just getting started. What I'm going to just mention here is just I think that while they're conference front runners, they're Big 12 front runners, I haven't seen enough here to tell me that these guys actually have a fucking chance in the playoffs if and when they win the conference, because Baron Morton needs to stay fucking healthy. He's got to stay healthy. If he keeps getting hurt, that depth is not that deep. $28 million can buy you a lot of great starters, and it doesn't buy you death. I can promise you that. If he doesn't stay healthy the rest of the way, they might get tripped up by somebody. One thing I want to actually look real quick because I don't know. Do they play Cincinnati? Do they play Cincinnati this season? Because if they don't,
they do not.
They don't. Well,
yeah, no, it's not an entirely yellow brick road from here, but it's a manageable schedule from this point outwards. Only 2 more ranked teams on their schedule between Arizona State and BYU.
Yeah, here's the thing. Those 2 games right there are going to be what make or break Tech's season because Cincinnati has fucking who the rest of the way. Their toughest game is against BYU, Baylor, maybe TCU. Only one of those teams is ranked right now. And we all know how fraudulent Baylor is. So Texas Tech, Cincinnati for the Big 12 in Arlington? Or can we actually talk about that? I know we have.
Well, either way, I was going to say, either way, we have our answer about Cincinnati. They do not want Luke Fickell back.
No, they don't. I'm pretty sure Scott Satterfield's seat is now nice and chilly after a long off season of heat. Because, holy fuck, there was a lot of heat. This town hated his ass. For those of you who don't know, I do live in the Cincinnati area. And even though I respect the Bearcats, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a fan. Yeah, everybody hates his ass here. Everybody was chanting for Luke Fickell to come back until they kind of saw what he was doing in Wisconsin. It was like, I don't help.
Now, I will say, do keep in mind that Arizona State and BYU, those 2 ranked teams that they play, they're undefeated in the conference and could be undefeated still when those 2 teams face off. So keep that in mind when thinking about the Big 12. While we're on the topic of the Big 12, because we just talked about Cincinnati, let's hit up that game real fast too, because Iowa State was sort of flirting with disaster these past few weeks, and it finally came back to bite them because Cincinnati put belt to cheeks early in this one, 17-0 in the first quarter, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Iowa State did a pretty good job at least trying to come back, but they were never able to get over the hump and get it together. So despite the effort from Rocco Purdy and what they put on the field, when you let up 260 rushing yards, you're pretty much going to lose almost every time. So, Cincinnati goes down, or Iowa State goes down to Cincinnati is what I meant to say.
Yeah, 100%. It was 31-7 at one point at the end of the first half. It was 31-7. And then Iowa State was able to get a touchdown at the very end with a 2-pointer. So, like, in Cincinnati, start to finish, they own the Cyclones. And on the one hand, I do think that Cincinnati's actually been able to finally get Sorsby, their quarterback, to play to his full potential. They got an offensive line that will protect him. They got weapons that he can use very well. Goody is a very, very good wide receiver, by the way. Shut the fuck up, JCR. Cincinnati is not. It is not Kentucky.
Thank you for the 2 nonetheless.
Thank you for the 2, but fuck you. I know, right? He just gave money, and I'm telling him to go fuck himself. Well, that was rude, so I'm going to be rude. You asked for this, buddy. You can't complain. You asked for this shit. I think that this is a case of Cincinnati both showing that, hey, they're not the Beer Cats anymore. They're the Bearcats again. They're going to make a bowl game. They're going to be solid. But was it all just because Iowa State's injured to hell? Because they had like 16 starters out in this one, and a lot of them were on their defense, especially their corners, which Cincinnati took full advantage of that during this game. So I wouldn't glean too much from this loss. If Iowa State can get healthy, they still have a shot of making it to Arlington big time. It's the Big 12. It's still fairly open. In Cincinnati, although I do like the idea of Cincinnati crashing the party and going to Arlington to play Texas Tech, I got to be realistic here. You know what I mean? It's still the Bearcats. They're still not fully cooked in some areas. I'll have to wait and see what happens. Don't know if they're playoff contenders yet, but it's a hell of a foundation to build off of for next year.
Ain't far from the truth there. So, all of those teams have some. I mean, they're obviously going somewhere. A 5-1 start for Iowa State. You know, I think that's probably better than where they expected to be at this point in time. So, I would just be happy with it. Take it for what it's worth, and then
that's why I'm kind of saying, like, accept this loss for what it is. You were injured to hell and you got caught by Cincinnati and Nippert. Like it was a bad combination, and it was just a bad game all around by everybody. Probably got caught looking ahead too, maybe, because who the fuck thinks about Cincinnati right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, we got to get to week 7 and talk about that for a bit. So let's do our usual selection of weekly shout outs before we go on ahead and get to that. First off, shout out to the Cougars, BYU. They're undefeated still at 5-0. They've got, they control their own destiny at this point as long as they continue to win out. Their schedule is not exactly the most favorable, especially since they've got the Red Raiders coming down the line. But they at least got the W there. That's all that counts.
Bachmeier is surprising a lot of people, BYU's quarterback. No one really expected the Mormons to be doing a lot after the bullshit with Retzlaff late in the offseason, and they came out and they're just firing on all cylinders. So waiting to see when they hit a pothole.
That's
they're going to hit it eventually.
JCR with the super chat, man, much appreciated. Says, Squid, who's your Crossworlds main? I main Silver. Now I don't main Silver. I actually main. Well, actually, my current main right now is probably Hatsune Miku, but that could probably change to Zaz very shortly. I could lead you in the direction of the world's biggest Silver simp, though, if you need me to do that. But very much appreciate it. Yeah, little off topic, but yeah.
I am so fucking confused right now.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Not important. All right. Shout out to your buddy, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Because guess what? They're still undefeated at 5-0. 42-3 absolute whooping of not Virginia, Minnesota. I don't know why.
I wish it was Virginia. Then people would shut the fuck up about the schedule being weak. Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, still number 1 in the nation, motherfuckers. We took care of them Golden Gophers. Turns out they were made of fool's gold.
Mm-hmm. I was stunned. I will say I was absolutely stunned by this one. I expected Minnesota to put up a way better fight because they finally, for once, have an offense. But, 94 yards passing ain't going to cut it. Ohio State's defense just completely shut him down, and Julian Sayin went off. So right now, Ohio State fans, they're living in the glory days right now, defending champions, and they look to go back to back if things continue like they are.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was Matt Patricia. He's really impressed me with how he's able to take all the pieces of this defense and make them into probably the deadliest Yeah, this is what the best defense in the country actually looks like. James Franklin, pay attention.
A little bit straight towards their direction. All right, now
3 weeks, assholes.
This is a shocker. Here we are now. They're 5-0. They've got 4 losses coming down the road. I can already feel it, but they're 5-0. So you got to give a shout out to the Aggies. Texas A&M is heading into this week in the top 5. Texas A&M is in the top 5. That's a stunning revelation on its own, but they put belt to cheeks on Mississippi State. Blake Shapen was able to get some yards, but not a whole lot. Texas A&M's defense just completely shut them down. They weren't able to answer at any point throughout the game. I wish we could shut them down. Definitely makes us look a whole lot worse. So thank you for that. But take it for what it's worth. Congratulations on the big win, Aggies. They're now going into this week in the top 5. Got everything ahead of them as long as they continue to win out.
Yeah, it's a really bad time to be a Texas Longhorn right now. Not only are you being exposed as frauds by, of all teams, the Florida Gators, but your big brother in College Station is whipping ass and taking names, blasting people out of the sky with the spirit of O2 like it's nobody's business. One thing I do want to point out, look at that score at the top underneath final. Do you see did you see something that nobody else is really talking about?
Where?
Like the first 3 quarters, A&M only scored 14 points.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean, A&M's offense definitely has got some flaws with it. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
But if their defense continues to play as they are, I think they'll be in a good position.
Yeah, here's the thing. You can't do that shit again. You can't. You cannot do that again, because I'll tell you why. You do that against Mizzou or Texas, oh, buddy, you're going to be in for a bad night, especially when you're playing Texas at home at the end of the season. So,
brother, Texas,
if you start,
stop, don't gas up Texas.
No, motherfucker, listen to me, okay? Did you not watch my fucking video on Texas A&M? These bastards will lose to Texas at the most random fucking time. Okay, Texas could be 1-11, and the one win is against the Aggies. Battered Aggie syndrome exists for a reason, my friend, and it's because of shit like that.
Anyway, Gab248 with the 5 says, so Matt Patricia is good. He just had to leave the NFL. Yes, I can confirm Matt Patricia is somewhat decent. Decent.
Watch out that game against Florida coming up this weekend, because I got a feeling that Billy Napier might do some fucky shit. I got a feeling.
I don't know about that, but
it could be the alcohol. It could just be the alcohol, but I got a feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying much of anything, but who knows? All right. Real quick shout out to what seems to be one of the only remnants left of the ACC. In the Virginia Cavaliers. They win again, this time in overtime, 30-27 against the undefeated Louisville Cardinals. Miller Moss put up a hell of a performance with 329 yards, but it just was not enough. They didn't run the ball efficiently at any point, and they sort of fizzled out there at home in overtime. So the Hokies get the big dub, or not the Hokies. Dadgummit! No, the other one. The other one. Sorry. I'm so used to Virginia Tech being the dominant one in this rivalry, and now it's weird because Virginia Tech's a dumpster fire and Virginia's ranked. It's throwing me off. But congratulations to the Cavs. They obviously earned their spot. They've got a lot going for them in the future.
Virginia Tech fans were so happy for a moment that you were talking so nicely about them.
Yeah.
Shout
out to the Hokies for being so terrible. It makes the rest of us look better in comparison.
Yeah, Jalen Morris didn't really do all that much in this game, surprisingly enough. Louisville was able to kind of keep him contained compared to what Florida State did. So, again, another reason to watch out for the Cardinals the rest of the way. But still, Virginia, they got it done in the end. Well done, Cavs. Still riding high, looking good in the ACC. That game against NC State that they lost to, randomly enough, didn't count. So they're still undefeated in conference play.
Mm-hmm. This is, oh God, I cannot believe we're doing this. This doesn't happen often here, and especially not this year. But shout out to Clemson. Clemson wins a game. Woo! Yes, dude. Clemson finally won a game against whatever you'd call them, the Fighting Lords of Dementia. I mean, the Tar Pits are being coached by like at this point, like it's almost like Bill Belichick. It's almost like he's actually senile. We've been making jokes about like, oh, is Jordan Hudson coaching the team? I think it would be better off if she was coaching because from the looks of how it is, I mean, North Carolina is in a bad way right now. Nothing is going right for them. I mean, they're an absolutely terrible team. This publicity stunt that Jordan's been running has just been absolutely horrendous. We got to get Belichick to a retirement home. I think he was going senile towards the end of his time at the Patriots. And this entire experiment that he's been running with North Carolina has just been him, thinking about what color ice cream he's going to get when he goes to the ice cream shop. That's literally been what this whole experiment has been. So this is a nightmare scenario for the Tar Pits.
Again, this is another football team that I really do think the media got caught sucking a lot of dick on for no good reason this offseason, because like I went back and I checked today and I found at least like 3 articles from major distributors talking about North Carolina making the playoffs because, hey, Bill Belichick came to town. Woo! Billy boy taking the Tar Heels to the playoffs in year 1. Oh, hell yeah. Look at the bonus they're going to give him for when he makes the playoff. Go fuck yourself, ESPN. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This team is filled with nothing but transfers and, second string talent that just wanted to come to play at North Carolina and get a second chance somewhere else. The only player on this team worth a shit is Max Johnson, and it's not really his fault that they're bad either. I mean, they're back. The quarterback they started the season with was a transfer from South Alabama, whose name escapes me, and it doesn't matter anymore. I heard Bill talk a little bit on College Game Day when they did the on-field interviews. I found it telling that they were having technical difficulties getting his microphone to work. By the way, I think that was a bad omen. But also, the one thing he wouldn't shut the fuck up about was next season, recruiting classes. Next season, recruiting. He already punted the season away. There was no like, all right, let's just try to get a bowl game at least and, win 6 games. Mac Brown won 6 games every goddamn year he was there, and he was more senile than fucking Bill is.
Regardless, I think it was an absolute mess, and it's turning into that, man. If this continues, he might get fired before the season's over because as I predicted, the drama unfolding around that relationship and the entire situation is getting worse because turns out North Carolina is not this championship team that some of these analysts are projecting he'd be. No, North Carolina is absolutely terrible this year. So a lot of the outside noise, as expected, is getting louder. So we'll keep tabs on North Carolina as the season progresses. But it's as we progress, they regress, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, real quick, let's give some quick shout outs here. Shout out to Oklahoma, undefeated. Georgia, they beat Kentucky, but then again, any bucket of water can beat Kentucky's offense. The Wolverines of Michigan, they beat Wisconsin. They're 4-1. Still have an outside shot of making the Big Ten title, and by extension, beating Ohio State again in the process. Notre Dame, they beat Boise State 28-7. They're 3-2 now. All they got to do is win out, and they might have an outside shot of the playoffs. You can put the middle finger down. I'm done talking about Michigan.
It was for Notre Dame too.
Fair enough. Illinois, they're 5-1, beat up on Purdue. Purdue put up a decent performance, but it was nowhere near enough. Now the true test comes as guess what? Next week we'll be talking about it in a moment. They gotta challenge. Those guys have a good time. Pittsburgh finally looked good. Finally looked like the team I thought they were going to be in the offseason. 48-7 over Boston College. It's a Monday night, and I'm very, very surprised Bill O'Brien has not been fired yet. I don't know what they're waiting on.
Side note, Pitt replaced their quarterback, Eli Holstein. He grabbed a bunch of bench, which I know you were very high on him. To which I'm going to ask, is it really Holstein's fault that they sucked, or was it Pat Narduzzi not knowing what the fuck to do with them?
Well, from the way it looks, it might have been Holstein. I don't know. Who knows? Shout out to Baylor. Baylor won probably the game of the week against Kansas State. Had a really big comeback at the end there to get the jump on them. Kansas State moves down to 2-4. Really bad year for the Wildcats.
Indeed.
Navy. Navy's undefeated right now. They're 5-0, one of the only remaining 15 undefeateds. So shout out to the midshipmen. They beat Air Force in a timeless classic.
And
they always find a way to win those games.
And they are currently in first place in the American, above Memphis, USF, and the fourth team I was going to mention.
Yeah. This is comedy right here because I predicted this. Give me a second. Hold on. That was my sister telling me goodnight. All right. So this is hilarious. And I kind of predicted this. Actually, I've pretty much been saying it as long as I've known the Maryland Turtles. I've been saying for however long it's been that they will find a way once October rolls around to suddenly fall off a cliff. And it took them a minute to realize it was October because they were looking good for 3 quarters against Washington. They were up big going into the fourth quarter. But then they realized what month it was, and they completely fell apart. Washington had 3 touchdowns unanswered. Jamal Williams leads the floodgates and wins the game for the Huskies. Down goes Maryland. So shout out to Washington on the big win there. Let's see what else. Yeah, UNLV's undefeated, so shout out to them. Good old. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Development. Yeah, development. Yeah, development. So yeah, 5-0 UNLV. Shout out to the Jayhawks. They beat Kansas beat Central Florida 27-20. Shout out to the Duke Blue Devils. They beat Cal 45-21 overnight at 3 a.m. So shout out to them. And then finally, our last shout out here, we have our first bowl eligible team, Memphis, the same team that pretty much took away Sam Pittman's job. Memphis is undefeated at 6-0. So they are going bowling this year. Congratulations to the Memphis man. You are the first team in college football this year to go to a bowl. But there will be plenty of teams next week that will follow you. I'm sure of that.
Indeed. I got one special shout out real quick as well, and I know you didn't touch on them, and I'm only going to mention it because I'm actually going to the Akron game here in a couple of weeks when they play UMass, the Battle of the Worst. Yeah. Akron won a fucking football game this weekend, guys. And it wasn't against some FCS Duquesne motherfuckers. They beat Central Michigan 28-22 in Akron. Miracles do happen.
Or.
Broken clock is right twice a day. The Zips are victorious.
What a win. What a win. All right, well,
can't go bowling this year due to academic bullshit. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Good for them. They're fighting.
Right. All right, well, fellas, let's roll into week 7, shall we? Because we've got some big ones for week 7. And this is probably one of the most underrated games of the week for an obvious reason because it's between 2 group of 5 teams. But this is a contender brawl for that spot in the playoffs. And this is a Friday night battle between South Florida, 4-1, but also ranked, going on the road to face off against the Mean Green, the undefeated Mean Green of North Texas. South Florida is coming in as a 1.5-point favorite. This is about as good of a game in the group of 5 as it can get right here. 2 really pretty decent squads with a good resume on their hands, battling it out against each other. It's going to be tough to decide which team is going to win this one. I can say that much for sure. Red, who you got?
God, this is fuck. I might just stream this game Friday night. Now that I think about it, I honestly might because this game has a lot of stakes. I mean, South Florida, they're the only ranked group of 5 right now, I think, that has a legitimate chance. Oh no, Memphis is ranked above them, I think, by the way. Let me make sure. Either way, this is a massive, Memphis is 1 spot ahead of them right now. So early on, we're about halfway in the season now. We're really trying to figure out who's going to be the group of 5 contender for the playoff. And this is going to answer a lot of questions. It's going to answer this. Number 1, is South Florida actually legit? Was their early run knocking off power teams in the first 3 weeks, taking out 2 out of 3 big time programs in Boise State, Florida, before falling to Miami. Are they actually good? And have they improved since they lost to Miami? And is North Texas's undefeated record fucking worth a shit? Because the only team they've beaten so far this season was they kicked the shit out of Wazoo, I think. That's really it. Everybody else they've kind of they've just played okay against. So it's going to answer a lot of questions for a Group of 5 race, and I think I'm going to go with South Florida to win this one. I know it's on the road. I know it's in North Texas, but North Texas isn't exactly a powerhouse stadium to play at. So Datku Stadium, I think that's how it's pronounced. Datku. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bulls. They go 5-1, and I think because of this win, they leap ahead of Memphis.
All right, well, I'm gonna side with you on that one. I've got South Florida winning this one as well. North Texas had some very exploitable holes on their defense, as shown in the games against Army and other teams that they've played. When they go up against offenses that basically tackle in every direction, it's very, very hard for them to stop it. And Byron Brown is a quarterback that can do just that. So give me South Florida to get the W. I think it'll be close, because I do think North Texas will sling it a lot on their defense, and I think South Florida will have a hard time starting or stopping it too. But I think it's going to be too much for the Mean Green to handle. So give me South Florida in a high scoring shootout. Hope it lives up to expectations. I will say that much. Because that is going to be a Friday night classic. I think we can all agree on that. All right, next up, Red. You already. Well, actually, no. Let's wait on that one. Never mind. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to your Buckeyes.
Yes.
Hold on a second.
For last, as you should.
Sorry, I got to refresh the page. Freaking, I think ESPN's going under some maintenance or something. It's been glitching out for me a little bit. Logos aren't showing up. It might be my Chrome. Google Chrome has just been breaking on me recently. Whatever the deal may be, I don't know what. But nonetheless, let's move on to this one. Alabama and Missouri facing off. Now, Alabama does have a loss, but they're higher ranked and for good reason. They have a better resume on their plate. Now, Missouri has shown that they are a very, very good team on the run. Ahmad Hardy is probably my favorite running back to watch. I think everybody can agree on that, because that dude is an absolute beast. I've loved watching him as long as he's been there, and he's been an absolute joy to watch. But got to go up against a pretty strong Alabama defensive front that did a good job shutting down Vandy's run game last week. So what are the odds that Mizzou can pull off a big upset here? Because what's the spread? Yeah, as I expected, Bama is favored, but not by a whole lot. They're only 2.5-point favorites. So it's a very, very tight spread. What do you got here?
This is going to be tough. This is tough. I fucking think that Ty Simpson right now is one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football, without a doubt. You got that combo with Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams and the wide receiver weapons. That's fucking hard to stop. Jam Miller, if he gets going on the ground, watch the fuck out. Like it's tough to stop him. But Bo Prabula, he is just lighting it up right now. And you mentioned, if Missouri is able to get Hardy to break out at running back and just go fucking buck wild to balance out the attack. I don't know, dude. It's going to be close. I don't think either one of these teams runs away with it. It's going to be decided by a field goal. But give me the Tigers. I know somebody commented in the chat earlier that, oh, yeah, keep on picking the opponents, Red. They keep on losing to Alabama. Yeah, well, fuck you. I'm picking the Tigers because I genuinely think they're going to win. 100%. Mizzou, I think it's going to be close. But they'll take the film from the game against Vanderbilt last week. They'll learn from where Vandy missed. And I think Bo Prabula, probably a better quarterback than Diego Pavia. Probably not going to make the same mistakes that he made.
All right, we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. I think Bama is going to force Bo Pribula to make some mistakes, because I think they're going to do a decent job shutting down Ahmad Hardy, which is going to force Pribula to really kind of test Bama's secondary. And I think that's where they're going to make them pay for. Now, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a blowout. I think they're going to have some successful drives on their belt. But on the other hand, Ty Simpson has been having a phenomenal game, a phenomenal string of games. So, I mean, you can see it based on his stats. He's even done better than Bo Pribula has. Now, again, some of that has been due to quarterback injuries and other things out of Mizzou's control. But I think he's looked like the better quarterback either way. I think Bama's going to win in a pretty close battle, but I think they'll have control in the fourth quarter, sort of like what the Vandy-Bama game was, but just a little more high scoring. That's what I think is going to happen. So we'll see. We'll keep tabs on that. But if Mizzou won, it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I know it wouldn't. It would make everybody a lot happier, I think.
Yeah, but it does put the pressure a lot on us, because I would really like it if they just kept winning out, because if they beat us in Tuscaloosa, I at least want to have that as Feinbaum, Paul Feinbaum, RIP his job, by the way.
But what happened to Feinbaum? I've been working all day.
Basically, he got kicked off of ESPN by Disney because he said something about being on the Senate or whatever, but possibly being interested in running for the Senate. And
political.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I guess that's enough to get you kicked off the air. So yeah, I guess that's that for his job. All right. But Disney said this is false. I've been hearing conflicting things about it. So there have been some big figures that have said it's true, some that have said it's false. So I've just chosen to report it as is. So if it's true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. Just be careful what you read out there in the internet. But all you need to know is that it may be confirmed, it may or may not be confirmed. I'm not here to spread misinformation.
Well, either way, Paul Feinbaum is hardly an expert on college football. I think the last couple of years, he's been really just kind of getting cooked on some of the shit he said. He's no better than a casual fan.
I am, however, here to spread pretty terrible opinions like the ones I have about pretty much the games that we cover, including this one, because this is a big game right here. Two undefeated Goliaths of the Big Ten. Indiana, number 7 in the nation, going on the road into Autzen State in a face-off against the Oregon Ducks. Both of these teams are 5-0, 2-0 in the conference. This is, of course, a 3:30 CBS game right here. This is pretty much Indiana's best chance of proving that they are the real deal, and they've got a big chance to prove it right here against this Oregon defense. Fernando Mendoza has had some tough games, but if they play like they did against Illinois, the sky's the limit for this Hoosier squad. So it's a very tough one to call. But I'm going to have the Ducks edging out this one. I think they get the job done at home, because we have no idea whether or not Indiana because they're obviously the real deal, but it's going to be interesting to see them going on the road against a team, an environment this tough, against a quarterback who's been having a really good job slinging it. I know Mendoza's been doing really good too, but Dante Moore obviously has done a really, really good job with them. It's going to come down to how well that defense can shut down Dante Moore. And because that's the thing, Indiana's going to have to make Oregon play their game. And while I do think they do a successful job of shutting him down for the most part, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it'll be a tight one. I think they might cover the spread because this could be a touchdown game in their favor by 7.5. At least Oregon is. But give me the Duckies in a close game.
So I want you to remember that, what they did against Illinois, what they did against Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier statistically is having a better season than Dante Moore. Dante Moore has 1,200 passing yards. Luke Altmaier has 1,500 passing yards. Dante Moore has thrown an interception. Luke Altmaier hasn't thrown one fucking pick all year. Okay. They were able to shut down. That's actually
false, by the way. They both have one interception, but I'm sorry to cut you off. But just as I said just a minute ago, we don't promote misinformation here on this channel.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Either way, you look at everything here. They shut down a quarterback that is a similar caliber of Dante Moore once already this season. And they didn't have to force him to throw an interception to do it. I think that because of that, alone, I'm going to go with Indiana because Oregon, we saw what they did against Penn State. Okay. They couldn't score they barely got touchdowns in that game against the Penn State defense. And Indiana's defense shut down one of the better quarterbacks in the entire conference already. And Dante Moore, he's got some growing to do. He still has some learning to do. And, I think that, Oregon overall, good team, probably going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot. But Mendoza has come out absolutely surprised the hell out of me this year. He's playing really well. Hemby, their running back, you give him the ball and you give him the lane, it's over. Elijah Surratt is lethal at wide receiver for them. You mix that up with Cooper. Everything I'm seeing here just kind of tells me, it's on the road, Autzen Stadium, not an easy place to play. I'm going to go with the Hoosiers by 3. Again, close game. I've been waiting for CBS to get a really good football game. They finally get the chance with the Ducks, and this is the one right here. And I think Kurt Signetti is going to walk out with a signature win. Last year, they were still a little underbanked when they went on the road to Ohio Stadium and played the Buckeyes. They held their own for about 3 quarters and then fell apart. I think this time they go on the road to Oregon and they make a statement.
Boy, oh boy, if he was actually able to pull it off, it would be a major development. I love that picture so much. You have no idea. Literally no idea how much I love that image, man. It is just so funny. It makes me crack up every time I see it. But yeah,
one of these days, I'll find a reason to bust this one out a lot more. Get them, my 2 tight ends.
Oh my goodness.
Shit.
All right. Well, here we are down. We are running out of time here on the show. So you just want to do a lightning round, cover the rest of these games as fast as we can, or at least the ones that are, worth covering.
Let's just do the ones that are worth covering because we're in the middle of the season right now. A lot of teams are on a bye week this week. So there's a few games that are notable, but not that many.
Right. Well, here's one for you. It doesn't even show the logos anymore, so I'm not even going to bother. But Washington State and Ole Miss, yeah. Apparently, Wazoo is being forced to go into Oxford this week. Ole Miss is favored by 32.5. In my opinion, that's not enough. Give me the Rebels, big time.
Yeah, this isn't even fucking
Good
fair.
Lord.
Give me the Rebels. Lane Kiffin, not Lane Kiffin, sorry, but you know what I mean. I've been drinking too much tonight. Yeah, just give me the Rebels. I'm tired. I've been up since like 4 a.m.
Broken at ESPN, don't want to work. Whatever, that's fine. Here's your CW special for the week, everybody. In case you were wondering, Stanford and SMU. That's your game right there. SMU is favored by 19.5 against Stanford. They've been on a roll, man. Stanford has won 3. They've won 2 games in a row. Just something to throw out there. Very, very important. But SMU should win that game.
As much as I want to say SMU is about to run into a wall of fucking trees, I don't think that's going to be the case on Saturday.
No, not this time. No. Michigan State will be hosting UCLA at noon on the Big Ten Network. Obviously, UCLA had that huge win against Penn State, but can they keep the drive continuing? That's the big question we're all asking ourselves. Nah, give me Michigan State. Give me the Spartans.
Yeah, an emotional win like that, you're going to have a hangover the following week. Give me Sparty.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, it's so stupid that it doesn't show the logo, so I can't. Oh, wait, no, it does. Great. Okay, great. Well, I want to cover this one, obviously, but I think we kind of all know what's going to happen. Oklahoma and Texas in the or the Red River. The Red River rivalry. It's the Red River shutout, in my opinion, because that's what we're going to be in for.
The showdown at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, a shutout at the Cotton Bowl is more what I think is going to happen.
Oh, really?
Now, because here's the thing: Arch Manning ain't no good. They might actually start a brand new quarterback for this game because he had a drive in that Florida game that made him look pretty good. So who knows?
What?
And Oklahoma is going to be without John Mateer, as we all know. So there, it's going to be it's probably going to be Arch Manning versus Michael Hawkins for this battle. So it's going to be a low-scoring game, but Oklahoma's defense has looked way better than Texas. They haven't looked submissive at all. So give me the Sooners.
Yeah, give me the Sooners. I think this is the game that finally buries the Texas Longhorns season without a doubt. They could have, if they had been firing on all cylinders, but they still had 2 losses coming into this game, they could still have hopes for, a playoff spot, SEC title maybe. This is where the dream truly dies. It dies on the field in Dallas, Texas. Give me the Sooners, and give me the Sooners by a lot.
Yeah. If they don't win, they expect some doomer sooner. Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of that. Gonna be a whole lot of that. That's all I know.
Yeah.
All right. Virginia Tech on the road at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's 14.5-point favorite. I'm expecting the Yellow Jackets to hold on and go to 6-0 and undefeated. Red, you in agreement with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm coming off of the bye week, which is much needed for the Yellow Jackets because they're getting really beat up there towards the end. I mean, they nearly lost to Wake Forest. I think they're going to come out pretty much refreshed and ready to kick some more ass. Haynes King is just good luck stopping his ass. That's all I'm going to say there.
Yep. All right. Now, this one's important. This one's important because one team beat UCLA. The other one didn't. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Are we here to just witness the death of Penn State football, or can they bounce back and actually win this one? Many asked the question.
Oh, man. Look, I want you guys to just enjoy this view right here. In a battle of the unranked, it's Northwestern against Penn State. Sickos rejoice.
Really?
Yeah, it's a glorious sight. This is the Penn State get-right game, though. They're going to be back at home in front of the home crowd against Northwestern. It's everything. If they blow this one, then James Franklin is definitely going to get fired. So they're not going to blow this one. Penn State's going to come out pissed off at Northwestern, and they're probably going to win by 20 and finally have a fucking offense because Northwestern as well. They're not bad, but they're not terrible, but they're not great either. So
oh my goodness.
This
quarterback battle is like, oh my goodness. It's so bad. It's two stoppable forces meeting each other on the field. What is this guy? Oh my goodness.
It's two crash test dummies just absolutely getting thrown against each other and seeing which one breaks.
Yeah, I don't know. JCR 1216 with the $2 super chat. Charlotte versus Army. Who you got? 49ers in the college football playoffs beat Georgia. Well, I've got Army for that one. So, yeah, doesn't look like they're going to the playoffs.
San Francisco is in the NFL. Oh, Charlotte 49ers. Oh, give me Army.
You read 49ers and immediately thought of the good Lord. By the way, guys, there are two, not one, but two CW specials. That's how you know this is a special week. Wake Forest is going on the road to 0-6 Oregon State. Now that's important because that may be very well our first bowl elimination at 0-7. So that might be it. That might be the one. So give me Wake Forest. Might as well just complete the funny.
Yeah.
All right.
Complete it. End it over. Just get it over with.
Yeah. Right. Florida, Texas A&M. Florida's having to travel on the road into Kyle Field. Do you think A&M gets them? They're 7.5-point favorites. I do. I think A&M takes care of business. You do as well?
Billy Napier has a really good track record this year of exposing fraudulent teams. And A&M has not played great offense since they played Notre Dame. Like, their offense has been pretty inconsistent, I'd say. I think A&M still wins because it is Billy Napier. I think they're going to get a little bit embarrassed in the process. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what the Red Asses want to see.
All right. Well, next up, this is a big revenge game for Lenora Sellers. South Carolina versus LSU. They got to travel into Tiger Stadium to face off against BK. LSU is 9.5-point favorites. Unfortunately for the Gamecocks, I feel like LSU is going to get you again. The talent fee is just going to be The talent fee is going to be too much. The Tylenol fee. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That Tylenol. Oh my God, that Tylenol.
Point is, the talent fee on defense will be too much for the North Sellers to handle. I think the Gamecocks fall short once again to good old BK.
If Brian Kelly can run the fucking ball finally, they win. If they don't run the ball, watch the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
I think South Carolina has a legitimate chance to win this game. I'm not fucking kidding you. I know it's at night in Death Valley, but LSU can't run the ball to save their fucking life. And their defense, as you know, is basically made of paper mache.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, dude. I think this is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people are thinking here. Give me LSU to win it just because, Sellers has been hurt and he's probably not playing at 100% fully still. But I would not surprise me if they end up blowing this one too.
Who knows? Of course, we can't finish off here without forgetting about our late night Big 12 brawls. 8 o'clock starting at 8 o'clock. BYU and Arizona. Now, keep in mind, Arizona is 4-1, and if they win this, they've got a kind of an outside shot of getting into the Big 12 title game. So keep that in mind. BYU is only a 1.5-point favorite. Noah Fafita has been looking strong, way stronger than I thought. So Arizona, who knows? Who knows?
I think Arizona might have their day. I think this might be their day. Bachmeier's looking good, but BYU, they played really well to start the year. Arizona, on the other hand, they've had a lot of really good moments and flashes of greatness. Here's the one thing I want to mention about BYU. Who the fuck have you beaten this year? Portland State, a wall of fucking trees, some Pirates from East Carolina, Deion Sanders toilet paper, and Rich Rod. That's it. That's who you fucking played. And you're top 25? No. I think this might be Arizona's night. Give me Arizona.
Granted, Arizona's best win is against Kansas State's worst team in a bajillion years, but I mean, I won't necessarily disagree with your logic there. However, I will say, as tough as it is for me to say, I've got the Cougars here. I think it's going to be a tough battle. I do think Arizona's going to give it their all, but I think the defense is going to clutch up in the end, and I think that's how they'll win it. All right, and then of course this is our game that nobody's going to be awake to watch, but it is very important to know. It's kind of in a similar situation to Arizona and BYU. Two Big 12 contenders, Arizona State 4-1, 2-0 in the conference, and Utah, who of course fell short against Texas Tech. They've got a shot of redeeming themselves at home here. Who do you got to do for this one?
Give me the Devils. They got more momentum. Utah is still kind of rebuilding and a little bit rough around the edges, as we saw against Texas Tech. Stan Levin's still great. Jordan Tyson's still great. I think Utah, they've definitely come quite a ways from where I thought they were going to be this year, but Devin Dampier is not quite all the way yet. So give me the Devils.
Yeah, I'm in disagreement with you there, and that's a hard disagree too. I've got Utah winning this one big. And the reason why is because they've been way more consistent as the season has progressed, with the exception, of course, Texas Tech. But you saw it in that game. That was the only defense that's been able to shut down Devon Dampier. Everybody else he's played against he has been slinging the football better than I've seen from most Big 12 quarterbacks. And while Levitt has been pretty good, his only target is Jordan Tyson. If it's not for him, the offense is completely just gone, just disappeared. So they're going to need to open up the run game. Otherwise, I think Utah wins this one big.
They have to a degree. Raleigh Brown is playing pretty decent this year.
Yeah, no, he's not playing bad. I just don't think the effort's going to be enough. But
double the yards of Utah's best running back. If they shut down Devin Dampier and try to make them run the ball, I think Arizona State's going to have it.
We'll see. We're going to find out. By the way, Kansas and Texas Tech play at 7:30. You think the Red Raiders win another one? Yeah, Red Raiders are winning that one. As much as I would want Kansas to win, now if they do win, I will wear the Kansas shirt to the next FBS report.
Kansas has a really good habit of fucking coming out of nowhere and raising hell the second half of the season. So just watch the fuck out.
And we'll see. All right, and now to finish things off, let's do our usual thing where we pivot to, thankfully, our teams that are not dead yet. starting with my Volunteers, my Tennessee Volunteers, hosting the good old pig time, good old Arkansas Razorbacks, one of the only teams right now without a head coach, or I guess they do have a head coach for the time being, that being the motorcycle riding Bobby P. Bobby Petrino is somehow back as the head coach of the Razorbacks. No matter how many times they get rid of him, he always seems to come back and want more. And so here they are once again with Bobby P as their coach, going on the road to face off against the 12th ranked Tennessee Vols, with Josh Heupel coaching there still. Tennessee is a 12.5-point favorite at home in Neyland Stadium. Safe to say, I think the Vols take care of business here. Now, I know we have an awful track record against Arkansas. That's proven by all the times that we've last played them. But a lot of those times we were terrible ourselves. And then the last time we played him, Josh Heupel on the road. But we got him at home this time. I like our odds. Give me Tennessee and what I think should be an easy game for them to win, if they really are the team that people are thinking that they should be. So we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas is coming in. This is going to be their first game without their head coach. They're going to be playing under Bobby Petrino, who also sacked pretty much like half of his defensive staff right after he took over the job. I mean, I think they're going to have a field day. Joey Aguilar is absolutely lethal with the ball. He's just like 102-57 for the season. Pretty fucking good for a quarterback. You can go ahead and disregard the 5 interceptions. He's still fucking accurate. Give me Tennessee. Give me Tennessee by 40. It's going to be a blowout.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I'm going to take you up on that tenor horn. Next stream I do for this Arkansas stream, I will. The moment we beat them, I'll get out a slab of bacon and I'll start chewing away. You don't have to worry about that. I will
cut for your butt.
I will bring the bacon. You can most guarantee that.
Yeah, extra fatty. Get the good shit. Thick cut, good shit. The whole 12-pack. Do it. You know you want to.
Okay, no, I can't do all that.
You do it. No.
We're not doing a bacon mukbang. No.
Go to Chick-fil-A, get yourself a classic chicken sandwich, and then just take an entire pack's worth of bacon and just put it on top.
Yeah, you had me at go to Chick-fil-A. All right, well, let's wrap this up here with one final game. Of course, you already know where I'm going with this one, Red. Now's your excuse to begin the yap session, because here we are, number 1 Ohio State, deservedly so, because every other top-ranked team is an absolute dumpster fire. Ohio State going on the road into Champaign to face off against the Fighting Illini. Now, Illinois, of course, has that really ugly loss to Indiana that they have to go off of, but other than that, no, they have a pretty good track record going for them so far. But Burt Bielema's coming in, hosting the undisputed number 1 team in the country. How well are they going to survive? Ohio State's coming in as a 14.5-point favorite. Red, what you got?
So I want to point out something. This is the first time in 7 years that the Illinois Trophy is being defended by Ohio State. This was last one or played back all the way 7 years ago, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago now. So thanks to different reshuffling with the conferences and the divisions and whatnot, this is the first time it's been played in a long time. It's Ohio State's only trophy game, so I'm fucking excited for that. And the story of the Yellow Buck, if you check out my YouTube video, is just fucking chef's kiss. Get into the game itself. This is one of those games that honestly has me like, okay, we just got done beating the tar and vinegar out of the Gophers. Great. What did I learn from that game against Minnesota? I learned we still have a bad habit of starting slow. It takes about a quarter and a half to really get the offense up and running, to make the adjustments that we need to make. So, in my opinion, if we come out and we score a touchdown on the very first drive, we should win the game. I think. If we don't do that, and Illinois comes out and scores a touchdown on their first drive of the game, we're going to be in for a long afternoon in Champaign, because it's on the road, like you said. In Illinois, it's going to be a hostile crowd. I still think Ohio State wins. Their offense is absolutely playing at an elite level, and their defense, led by Curry, is absolutely fucking devastating. Still have not given up more than 10 points a game this season. against anybody. I think we've given up maybe a total of like 22 points all season. The best defense in all of college football is in Columbus, Ohio. So I think they're going to win. But I really, really hope to God that they come out firing all cylinders and not doing this lackadaisical, we'll start scoring here eventually bullshit they've done the last 2 weeks.
All right, well, we'll keep tabs on that for sure. Real quick, I do think it's funny that you're starting running back freshman Bo Jackson. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Got a little.
You don't know Bo. You don't fucking know Bo.
I know Bojangles. Is that close enough? No, guess not. All right.
Southern.
But yeah, I'm in agreement on you with this one. I don't think they necessarily completely shut down Illinois. I do think they get a couple of maybe like 1 or 2 scoring drives in, maybe score 10 something points. But it's one of those things where I've got to believe it to see it. I actually do think Illinois is going to be good enough to break Ohio State's streak and go a little bit further than 10 points. I think they'll be more like 17, maybe 20. Yeah. But either way, I think Ohio State wins. They win like 34-20, somewhere around that range. Should take care of business. Now, if they do win 34-20, that's going to make a lot of the bettors big angry, which would be kind of funny. Be kind of funny. It's never not funny to see gamblers get overly pissed off about gambling. It's like you got what you wanted. It's a win-lose situation. And more of that's what happens for you. But that's all there is to it, man.
Yeah.
So there you have it. There you have it. That's your week 7. So the chaos shall continue for yet another week. Hope you guys stick around for the next edition of the FBS Report. You guys already know we'll be back at the same time as always, week 8, for yet another edition of the FBS Report. There's no exception of that. The only constant in college football is chaos, and that's all we know. So don't rest, even if it's your bye week, because you never know what's going to happen. So, Red, you got anything else to say?
Be on the lookout for my video later this week. Should be out on YouTube, I think, by Wednesday. Patreon tomorrow. And I'm going to see about streaming on Friday the USF North Texas game. Saturday, still making the decision on what I'm going to do for Saturday. I'd love to stream Ohio State, Illinois, but probably not going to be able to do that because of my obligation to my children. So might be another night game. I'll pick it out. We'll see what happens from there. Oh, that's on the channel later on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a metaphorical child in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, so I take that for what it's worth.
That's not the same.
No, not a comparison. Not a comparison. I wasn't trying to make a comparison. I was just throwing that out there. So yeah.
It's to be 24.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Tell him, Dion.
You present, but you ain't really there.
You present, but you ain't really there. You tell him, Dion. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all for watching this rendition of the FBS Report. Make sure you give him, that individual right there, all the love and support he deserves. Go check out his videos. He does his weekly recaps as well as I do. For those of you expecting my recap, just don't expect it all. Now, of course, I'm going to make it. Just don't expect any sort of deadline. You get it when you get it. It might come now. It might come 2 days from now. You never know. I'll leave you in the air with that as much as I leave you in the air with everything else. So thank you all very, very much for your support. I will see you Saturday at 3:30 as always for the Arkansas-Tennessee game stream. And Red will see you whenever he sees you, whenever that may be. All right, guys. Well, thank you all again for watching. We'll see y'all next week. And as always, power to Tardaria. And we'll see you next time.
Don't key your car. It's a really expensive repair.
Unless you have a Honda.
Indeed.